Back in the paddock then, just seeing some of the karts get prepared for today's action. Let's head on into the Pro Train awning and see who we can find in there and have a quick chat with. We've got Shane Chandaria's kart being prepared here for racing later on today in Junior Rotax, and head further down as well, Ryan Hedge in here as well. A couple of the drivers getting ready for their racing here today. We'll see if we can have a little quick chat.
Hi.
How are we doing today, Shane?
Good, yeah.
Ready for racing?
Yes, I am.
How did yesterday go for you?
The qualifying was a bit difficult because I went out in traffic and in the rain, so it didn't really go too well. And in the heat, it was pretty good, but then there was a collision, and obviously that put me down. But I mean, today there's another day. The finals are today, are still gonna come today, so definitely hoping to do well for that.
It's not just been raining, but very mixed today. Have you had any times where it's been perhaps on the wrong tyre or slicks in the wet that's been tricky for you?
Luckily not. My mechanic James and the team have given me such a great, they've made great decisions, so I've not been put in that situation yet.
What would you be happy with as a result today?
I think for the heat, if I can get a top 10, just start me high up in the final, and final I'd say top 8 would be a nice result to get.
Well, good stuff. We'll look out for you, Shane. Best of luck for the day's racing. We'll see you later on. Let's head out and further down into the paddock. It's an absolutely huge paddock here this weekend. 320 drivers on the entry earlier on in the week when I was preparing the notes for this one. As I say, we're going to have to hot march it fairly quickly down through this paddock, so we've not got a huge amount of time today. But great to see the SuperPrix being well supported. Very big day in the racing calendar for our iArmy categories, of course, because they're competing for the E-plate today. Drivers will be able to display, or drivers who win the E-plate, of course, will be able to display that on their karts at entries around the country for 12 months. And say it carries a lot of weight in the karting community, having one of those special plates. So as part of being a round of the Shenington Kart Racing Club season, of course, this is always an event with a bit more spice, and a lot of drivers here this weekend ahead of the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships here at Shenington in a week's time. That you'll be able to watch here on Alpha Live as well. So we're heading down through the paddock. Lucas Blanford's kart being prepared there and going out for a session. We'll see them out later on. The Jade Kart tent always very, very busy. Let's see if we can have a quick look in here and see who we can find, who's up for a bit of a talk with us here today. And I'll have a chat with a couple of drivers here. How are we feeling today, boys?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, all good.
How did yesterday go for you?
Yesterday was really good. I qualified third in group. Then the heat came and I had a bit of an incident. Went backwards and was facing the wrong way.
Being in one of those bigger categories, Junior X30, if I'm right in saying it, how do you deal with the groups element of it? It's slightly different, isn't it, that you're not necessarily on with the same drivers all the way through your programme?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially going into the second heat after being in heat 1 yesterday, having older tyres, and some of the people who are on new tyres are being able to just get that little bit of an edge at the start.
What would be the hope for the final, qualifying through to that on a good spot?
Well, I'm not sure. I might have to be in the B final to start with after 2 bad heats. Maybe top 10 to come back to would be nice.
But you can overtake round here. It's with the long straights and the big braking zone.
Yeah, being in Jade, they're a local team to here, done loads and loads of laps, so hopefully be able to cut back through.
Well, best of luck, mate. Good to see you out there later on for Junior X30. So let's head on through. A lot of competitive drivers, as we say, in the Jade Kart entry this weekend. But pretty much all of our big efforts, all of our big teams are here this weekend. In fact, here's a good example of an E-plate holder as going through. That's what the drivers in a number of the categories are competing for here this weekend. I want to have a quick chat, if I can, with some of the JDR team, because I think they're on for a good day, always strong in this part of the world. Let's see if we've got any drivers in here that we can have a quick discussion with who are looking up for a chat. Let's go for one of our younger drivers. In fact, sorry Luke, I'm cutting you around all over the place. We'll go in the far side. Have a chat with, say, one of the younger drivers in the younger categories. We'll have a chat with Finn here. Finn, how are we feeling for today?
Yeah, really good.
All set to go for the Rotax racing here today?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And just say apologies for interrupting yourself with Jack there. What were you looking at? Some data ahead of going out?
Yeah, we're looking at data just to compare what me and the other karts are doing on track.
Hopefully a bit of an easier day on tyre choice today. There's been a couple of spots of rain, but it's a bit warmer today.
Yeah, hopefully it stays dry today, hopefully.
Very good. Well, best of luck. I'll let you get back to your hard work there with Jack and the rest of the team. But good to see work underway here, or there in the JDR camp. So the team based not too far down the road from here at Wilton Mill. There's also another team that I want to have a quick chat with, who I've been promising a little tour of their awning. It's the smaller version of their awning here today. And hopefully we'll be able to have a little bit of a chat with them further in another one of our events in a few weeks' time. In fact, a number of their karts heading out on circuit now. Jake Flewitt there heading out on circuit. Jake Woods as well. Morning, Jake. But I think they'll still have a couple of drivers further down in their awning. It's typical, isn't it, as you do one of these things as a sort of live, just as I go to the JWR tent, half of their drivers disappear. Jake Howarth walking up towards his cars as well. We had a chat with him a few weeks ago. I can see Harry Pullen is getting ready for his racing today. We'll jump on him and have a little chat with Harry if that's all right. Harry, good to see you again. All ready for today?
Yeah. Just changed a few things. Yeah, I think we're about ready to go, really. Lube chain.
I was out on circuit yesterday for the heat where you were all on slick tyres in the wet. Tell us a little bit about that. That looks a bit spicy.
Yeah, Shenny's nice in the wet. It's still nice and grippy. We went out. We had a bad qualifying. We had a bad set of tyres on, so that sort of hinders us a bit. And then went out for that first heat and ran out of talent a bit on the first corner. Spun it, so we were like last and that. And then I think, where do we finish? Fifth?
6 on track.
Fifth after penalties, yeah. So ended up fifth after penalties. So it wasn't too bad really, but it wasn't too bad to drive really. It was just like being on the wets. I think it was like a 3.5 second difference from wets to slicks on the same kind of track.
Would you say this track dries quite quickly as well? That seemed to be what was happening.
It was ridiculous. I think the wind and the sun together was drying out really fast. I would have said the session after us, I would have gone out on slicks confidently. It was ridiculous.
Things looking a bit more stable today. What would be a good result for you here today?
One. Top 5 probably. Top 3 I'm hoping for. I think with the changes we've made, that should give us a bit more pace. But I think I could get a top 5 as long as I get a good result in this next heat.
Well, best of luck, mate. I know you'll give it your all, and have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Harry Pullen there, racing in the Rotax categories. Let's go further down and further round for a last interview or two before we wrap things up here for this particular bit of the paddock walk. As I say, it just keeps going and going and going and going, this paddock here this weekend. But an important weekend, that's why so many of these drivers have turned out for the 2023 Shenington SuperPrix, and great to have you with us as well if you're watching at home. See who we can find as well who might be up for a little chat. Let's have a little nose around in the Croc Promotions awning if they don't mind. Who can we find to have a chat with? We've got Ollie Stilp, of course, in this weekend, looking for our competitive run. I want to find another driver. Try and find thoughts of another driver before we head out. And for these guys in particular, being a very, very strong iArmy X30 team, this is a very important weekend for them. We'll have a chat here with young Mr. Carter if he's all right. How are we doing?
Good, thanks.
All ready for racing here today?
Yeah. I mean, first heat was good, so only about can go forward in the next heat. So yeah.
The Croc Promotion cart's always running very, very strong. What's the hope for today?
Definitely top 10, I think. I know that I have the pace, so yeah.
What have you been working on in particular in preparations for SuperPrix this year?
Just like to be fast, and like I know that I can race. It's just to be fast. So yeah.
Would you say this is one of your favourites on the British kart scene, or?
It's a fast-flowing track, so yeah, I would probably say so. Yeah.
Good stuff. Who do you want to thank for preparing you ready for today?
I would like to thank my dad, Tom Grice, Dan Stilp, Simon Parker, and also my mum.
Very good. Well, best of luck, mate. We'll see you out there on circuit later on. I think we've got time for one quick more interview, perhaps. If we jump in the Mick Barrett tent very briefly. I think it's looking fairly quiet in Argenti. There's a bit of golf practice going on in there. In fact, we'll carry on. Let's head further down. I want to try and get another younger driver, if we can, before we wrap things up here. Maybe head down into Fusion and see who we can find in their awning here today. Of course, very, very successful team. We'll have a lot of strong runners in the Water Swift categories later on today, will Fusion. And so we'll probably wrap things up in here if we've got any drivers that we can have a chat with. In fact, let's head further down through the garage if we can. So always very impressive setup here within the Fusion Motorsport crew. A lot of drivers taking this time out as well just to prepare themselves. You know, maybe watch a bit of action further along. We'll have a chat with a young driver here. How are we doing ahead of today?
Great.
Just having a bit of a watch of some footage there out on track.
Yeah.
What are you working on in terms of speed around the Shenington circuit?
Turning early.
Which are your favourite corners as well?
Cafe.
And kart running well so far this weekend?
Yeah.
What on setup have you been working on?
Grippy setup.
Very good. Have you had any driving in the rain so far this weekend?
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Good.
And last question is Fusion Motorsport team you like racing with?
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Well, best of luck for today, and we'll see you out on circuit later on. I think we'll probably wrap things up there for this part of the paddock walk. Thank you very much for being with us here on Alpha Live for the Shenington SuperPrix 2023, and keep it locked here on the channel for more.